Hey everybody, it's Ryan. I'm in the truck right now because it's super windy today. It's Sunday, October 21st. We've only got 10 days left till Halloween and I'm still way behind. Today we're going to focus on fog, how I use it, what machines I like to use, and why I like to use them. But before we get started, I gotta go run down to the home improvement store. I need a few more fittings and a few more pieces of PVC before I can finish up what we're doing out in the yard. So we're gonna take a trip down there and get what we need.
We're back from the hardware store now. Before we get into all of the things that we bought at the hardware store, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about fog machines and which ones I like to use and why I like to use them. Years ago, I would buy all of my fog machines from Spirit and use their coupons. If you sign up with your email, you can get 20% off or 25% off coupons, and I would go out and I'd buy the expensive $90, $100, whatever they are, fog machines from Spirit, and they'd work great that year. I'd get a ton of use out of them that season, put them away, plug them in the next year, and they'd either just not work at all or they'd be working at maybe 50% of what they did the year before. And I was just sick and tired of wasting my money. I'm spending, $70 to $100 on some of these nice fog machines that every year I was going back and buying a new fog machine to replace the one that didn't work from the previous year. So I got sick and tired of it. I did a little bit of research and buying a fog machine from Guitar Center. It's actually a DJ fog machine. It's an American DJ fog machine. I'm super happy with the production from it. I also like that they offer a replacement warranty. I think it was like $5, $10, something like that. 2-year warranty. Bring it back and they'll replace it or fix it if they can. I've never had an issue with any of mine, and some of them are on their 3rd or 4th season now. I'm thinking about picking up a 4th one, but for right now, I'll show you what I got. And how years ago, I would take the fog machines, I'd put them in clear plastic containers, and I would set them out in the yard. But it was just a headache having to run out there every hour or half hour and make sure that they were topped off and not running dry. And it just became too arduous of a task having to maintain all of them out in the yard. I had 3 or 4 of them. It wasn't a huge number, but at the same time, when trick-or-treaters are showing up in droves, it was, I had to take time to run out there with a headlamp and refill every single unit and run power cords out to every single one, and it became a real big headache for me. So I decided that I was going to just put them on the patio here. I was already using PVC pipe on 1 or 2 of them just because I was trying to up their production a little bit. The PVC allows it to slow down and gather up a little bit before it exits the pipe, so you get a much thicker billowing smoke out of the PVC that way. And I'm not trying to fog out the entire neighborhood, although I've done that in years past. I really want to direct it at each individual. I'll show you each individual one of these and what they do for me and how I use them. And I'll take you out there. I'll also show you kind of why I lay the pipes the way I lay them. So the first one I'll show you is the Spirit Halloween one. He just goes out to a single Grim Reaper that I have staked out in the yard. It's a short, small display, so he doesn't need a ton of fog coming out of him. And with the PVC, it billows out just perfect. So I'll turn it on, I'll take you out front here, and I'll show you what he looks like. So the next one I'll show you is the American DJ VF400. I think it's supposed to produce something like 400 cubic feet per minute, thus the 400 in its name. This is also just on a single display, but it's a longer run out into the yard, so this one handles that run a whole lot better than the Spirit Halloween would. So I'll set you out in the yard and I'll show you what this one's all about. Now unfortunately, like I said, with this one I have to run it manually with a little push button unit, but
I'm gonna see if I can find a wireless controller for it before Halloween, but we usually hang out right here on the patio for the trick-or-treaters, and it's easy to keep pushing the button. It's got a fairly long cord to the button, so I can run it no problem. But if I could have a wireless controller, it'd be much nicer. So let's go out there and see what this one looks like. Finally, of all of my fog machines, this one's my favorite. It's the VF1300, 1300 cubic feet per minute of fog madness. I use this to do both of the pallet groundbreaker displays, and it more than covers everything that I needed to do. What I also like is if I want to fog out right here up by the patio area, I can just pull it off of the PVC pipe and blast it right here, and it covers this whole front area. So let's go take you out front here and I'll show you what it looks like on the pallets. And finally, this is the VF1300 by American DJ. I think by the name, it's supposed to do 1300 cubic feet per minute, and this thing is just ridiculous. I can't run this thing other than with PVC because it just fogs out to the whole area to the point where you can't see. I like this one a lot because it came with the wireless controller. It also came with a manual controller, push button controller, but I much prefer the wireless controller. Then I can just have them in my pocket and push them whenever I want. I don't have to be right up next to the fog machine to run them. So if I get another one this year, it's probably going to be another one of these, which it'll allow me to run the skeleton coffin display out in the yard, and possibly fork it off into one more display out we're going to put up a graveyard scene, so I may be able to use it there. So on the other side of the bushes, the PVC just runs out here. So on the other side of the bushes, the PVC just runs out here. The Grim Reaper's got a 10-foot piece with a 90-degree elbow, and then about a 1-foot, 14-inch section of PVC running straight up along his vertical base. The 1300 is connected here to the middle piece, pumping to the two pallets, and then the 400 goes all the way over there to the left. On 1, 2, 3, you're looking at about a 35, close to 40-foot run on that one. So that's why I'm contemplating maybe just getting a second one of those big fog machines and feeding it out there.
Do it for us on fog machines. Sorry I didn't really give you a tutorial on how I lay them out, but it's pretty simple. Just some simple couplers, T connectors, 90s, 45s. All of that stuff is 1.5 PVC. It can all be found at most major hardware stores, so it's a fairly simple process. If you've got any questions about that stuff, you can hit me up in the comments. So that's going to about do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, like I said, hit me up in the comments.